Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, May 3rd edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. A reminder that we do operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. We have a process in this meeting where we do a round of introductions at the start of the call. Totally optional. We will not call on people, so it is up to you to jump in there if you would like to introduce yourself. So I will kick things off there. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am co-lead of this sub-project, and this is the Contributor Comms sub-project, which has a goal to facilitate communications between contributors among the contributor community, as well as to some degree outside of the contributor community, talking about the awesome work that contributors are doing. And as part of that, we run several social media feeds with a mixed audience of contributors and end users. Our end user audience is growing significantly in the very near future, and we'll talk more about that later. We also have members of our group write blog posts about the awesome work that contributors are doing. I'm also a co-chair of SIG ContribEx, which is the parent group of this subproject. Pronouns, she, her.
For 8 a.m., I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Short. I work at AWS as a developer advocate on the open source strategy and marketing team. I am a co-lead of this subproject and a longtime Kubernetes contributor. Pronouns he, him.
Would anyone else like to go?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Hi, my name's Ricky. I mostly work in the SIG infrastructure, SIG testing realm. Recently, I've been working on a new project called Hydrophone, which I'm here to hopefully get some of y'all's help with figuring out how to get some comms around that project.
Oh, awesome.
Welcome. Excited to have you.
Hello. My name is Eddie. I mostly do backend Python development, kind of on the data engineering side. I don't have a job right now. I've been taking some time off. Recently been bouncing between open source communities and projects and doing some side projects, and yeah, I was just curious to check out Kubernetes and you guys, and I'm just curious to see what it's like here.
Awesome.
Welcome. Love to hear it. Anyone else?
Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Sriram. I'm mostly active in SIG release and ContribEx comms. Yeah, I'm glad to join one of these again.
Welcome back.
Hey everyone, so I am Arpit. I mostly join these Friday meetings they are very informal, so I join them just for fun, and I also do write some blogs and stuff, and currently I am working on a new blog, so that's about me. Also pronounce he, him.
Hey everyone, my name is Arvind. I am a developer from India and a contributor to SIG ContribEx for some time now. I am on the process of writing my first SIG Spotlight blog, and my pronouns are he, him. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Hey everyone, my name is Sundipan Panda. I have been a member of Kubernetes for some time now, just hanging around and trying to be helpful. And also this week I got accepted into the CNCF Ambassador program and Google Summer of Code 2024 in the Kubeflow project. So excited to contribute more to open source and cloud native computing. Thank you. And my pronouns are he, him.
Congratulations. Welcome. We'll talk more about that later. Anyone else like to introduce themselves?
Hi everyone, I am Rajul and I'm a contributor here. Thanks all.
Welcome. Is there anyone else? I think that might have been everyone. Leave that open for a minute. All right. right. Thank you so much, everyone, and welcome to the call. I'm excited to have you all. It's gonna be awesome. One thing I do want to call out, as Arpit mentioned, this is a very informal call. So if at any point you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to unmute and speak up or post in the chat, whatever works for you. Also, we do take volunteers for note taking. Would anyone like to take notes today?
I'm horrible at note taking, so I do not volunteer. So anyone, please feel free.
I got a drop off in like some time, so I'm also not volunteering this time. Yeah, I would have
Understandable.
loved to otherwise.
Yeah, no, totally get it.
So
I
it
mean, I can
goes
try.
sometimes.
I can try.
All right. I appreciate it, Chris.
Hear it out.
Alrighty, I'll put you in there.
Oh, I can do that.
That's true. You are the note taker.
Yeah.
I am also really bad about
No, it's
stepping into
good.
the notes to take down a
good
thing or two.
because there's things that I miss because I'm going to go look at something else for a minute. So yeah.
Plus, you're going to be talking here in a moment.
Yes.
So,
A lot.
so there is that. Cool. All right. So I think we will hop into our agenda then. As I said, feel free to post questions or anything at any time. We will go through the agenda in this note stock, which is first new items, then updates, big wins. Then we will hop into our board on GitHub to review some additional work items that are in progress. But starting off, let's do new items. And Chris, you have one there.
Oh, I have two. So I was doing the stuff that I do on a regular basis, and we were looking. So someone from Zapier came into the community. Nigel and I were working with them on Monday or Tuesday, I think. And I discovered that all the comms Zapier's apps were airing out and like had been for a while. So
Oops.
we worked with the person from Zapier so that at least Nigel and I, up to 5 people, can get notified of this error occurring. So there's a Zap that we created to notify Nigel and I of errors in Zapier. I need to get our tech lead added to that as well, and maybe the Shadow, and probably you, Caslin. So it was a weird error, right? Like I put all the details in here just so folks can look at it. But basically, like we have tags in Buffer to kind of categorize which kinds of posts we're doing. And I wanted to have a tag that specifically was like, oh, this was RSS feed driven. So
Yeah.
there was a tag called RSS. And me using that tag and saying, please tag this as such in Buffer, totally made everything break in really weird ways. So I've reached out to Zapier and they're like, here's the data. I linked it there in the gist. Here's the error we're getting. And then I removed the tag from all the posts for now because that seems to be the problem. So yeah, good stuff. But
And then they
should be working.
They suggested reaching out to Buffer, right? Did you
Yes,
do
I
that?
did.
You think you will? Okay.
I pinged them in so I'm a beta tester for Buffer, so I pinged them
Yeah.
in that channel just so I can be like, hey, engineer person that's usually hanging out here. Thoughts?
Sounds
But I linked to that
good.
in the notes so you can join the discussion there if you so choose.
Oh,
And there's a hand up.
Chris, just quick. I thought you said you mentioned that you shared it here or some stuff related to that. Like, where did you share that?
In the notes.
I shared in the notes. Sorry. So
which
I
are
highlighted
at this link. So I
Okay.
just posted a link in
Sorry. Yes. If you don't have a link to the doc, that's difficult.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Where in there is it specifically?
So if you go under the date for you may, and then new items,
Oh, okay.
Zapier broken.
Okay. I stopped at the date template thing at the top. Okay.
That gets
Common.
me.
That'll get you.
Yeah, that gets me every time early in the morning. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. So
Did we
yeah,
ever get-
it's go ahead.
Did we ever get Zapier set up for LinkedIn?
Yeah, should be.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was a question for a couple of weeks or something.
No, that's been done. Like the second you gave me access, I went and did that. So
Nice.
it's been failing though. So that's why we haven't seen anything.
Cool.
And then the next issue was brought up to me by Christoph when I was on my 2-week tour of the world from hell. Basically, everybody now wants a communications plan for disruptive changes. And to be honest, I'm not sure what such a thing looks like, right? Like, I feel like this is a Maddie Stratton kind of PagerDuty-esque thing. If you know Maddie, he did a lot of work like this at PagerDuty, but that issue has kind of an exhaustive outline, and we need several people to kind of start hacking away on a document of some sort around sensitive communications and disruptive change plans, that kind of thing. For context, we have had a few dumpster fire kind of incidents with communicating things in the comms world. That's part of the reason why this team exists. But for example, the registry change we hold up as a wonderful example of how to communicate a very disruptive change to end users and administrators alike. So a lot of work was involved in that to get all that done, and we're trying to document the process of doing such a thing, including reaching out to our friends at other cloud providers and getting them in the loop kind of deal. So yeah, check out this issue. Let me know if you start a doc or want to doc or something.
Do we know how imminent this thing is? I think it's not super imminent.
No, but like we definitely need
this is
something because there's a C group V1 change about to happen here.
Yeah, the C group V1 is what I was wondering about it being imminent.
Yeah, that's the imminent thing. I just dropped a link in chat. So I'm not sure when this happens. But we're gonna want to have comms and this process kind of hammered out as a result of this. So it's gonna
I
be
didn't
interesting.
attend security meeting this week.
I didn't either. It's getting to the point where I don't know if I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally could have, but I didn't. So maybe I'll do that next week though, with this coming up.
But yeah, like I think that group was tagged in this issue, I think, too. I don't know. Let me look. Yeah. Ian, myself, Bob, Kazim. Yeah.
This C Groups V2 thing might be a good opportunity for us to document the live process as it happens.
Maybe. And
might be what it takes to get it done.
And yeah, I kind of want to at least not document, but like create an outline to what all had to transpire for the registry change.
Yeah. You mentioned that for a while.
Or Docker Shem, or for any of the other things that we've had to put banners on Kubernetes.io for. So yeah.
Do you want to use some post call time to hack on that together today or next week or something?
Not today. I'm not feeling great today, but next week for sure. I think we should. Because I'm not going to remember everything.
Yeah. I feel like going back and forth on this will be useful because there's so many kind of edge cases that you have to think about.
Oh, yeah. And this would include, potentially handling deaths and such like that, right? Like policy is steering handles that, but that's never the case, right? Like it's always steering linking up with somebody else and doing liaison work. But in the case of like taking that a step further, right? When a person passes away, there's no plan, right? For
Yeah.
handing off that work or
We probably should write
trans-
out some guidelines because it's usually
Yeah.
like we have some contact who let us know.
Right.
And we work with them and whoever we can get to who is close to that person to figure out what they want to do, what they
So-
want communicated. So we can just say that somewhere.
Yeah, I
We do
bumped
not
into
jump to
Yeah, no.
posts about it.
No. That has to be handled very delicately. I'll just say that. I talked to Sarah Christoph in Paris, who picked up Porter in Carolyn's absence, and basically she's like literally emailing Carolyn's spouse and like the surviving, like a widower does not need that kind of problem, right? So we've got to
Yeah.
figure that out, and not just as a community, but as individuals, right? Like, how do we protect ourselves from the inevitable happening and not screw up contributions and everything else in the process? It's a tough problem, but putting words on paper will help.
Yeah, so let's try to hack away at that maybe after the meeting next week or something like that.
Yeah.
See, should we run?
Well,
Cool.
are you busy with DevOps Day stuff next Friday?
It's Monday to Wednesday,
Okay, never mind.
so it should be good. Thank you, though. I guess you might be out here.
Yeah, I'm flying in Monday, I think.
We'll talk about that more later. But
Yeah. Yes.
Sriram already dropped off, right? All right. Well, I'll leave that one last then. Any questions, comments on the sensitive comms effort to create guidelines and on those types of comms? All right. Hopefully we will do some live work on that sometime soon. Let's move on to the next item in our new items list for now, which is this hydrophone thing. Please tell us about it.
Hey y'all. So I'm a maintainer on the hydrophone project. Very quick little background. So for a long time now, SIG architecture has provided a test suite of conformance tests. These conformance tests are used to run against Kubernetes clusters and different providers of Kubernetes offerings, your EKS, GKE, Rancher, those sorts of offerings can submit or run conformance testing against their solutions. And then if they pass all the conformance tests, they'll be considered an official Kubernetes provider. To run that conformance test suite is not exactly easy out of the box. So there's been a third-party application called Sonoboy, which is a VMware product, which has existed for a long time, has done a really great job. But we wanted to provide kind of a lightweight solution inside the Kubernetes community and organization that's owned by the community that can at least supplement and provide that ability to run conformance testing and in the future other kinds of conformance testings against a cluster to be able to get the results, to be able to get that certified official Kubernetes provider status. So Hydrophone is our project that does that. It's a lightweight runner that allows you to run a single command and against a cluster and determine if it's fully conformant per SIG architecture. So that's what it does. I'll preface this with I think I'm in the right place, but if there's a more appropriate group, please let me
you're
know.
in the right place. You're here.
You're
Yeah,
here.
You're good.
All right, great. We have this solution, and especially with 1.30 being released now, we expect over the next couple weeks, kind of month, 2 months, we'll be getting a lot of those requests in Kubernetes conformance that where these providers run the test suites and get their certification for their 1.30 offerings. So we'd like to generate some comms and let those figure out a strategy or a way to get the word out there about the hydrophone product, so that when Rancher or Amazon or Google go to run their tests, they we'd like to start seeing some of them use hydrophone as an alternative.
Nice. We might need some help. This will be a mainly end user message, so it's a good thing that we have at least one channel for that now, and hopefully we'll have another one very soon. And we might need some help with how exactly to word the message about what hydrophone is. We'll want like a sentence or two description of like, hey, end users, this exists now. It is, I imagine something like a conformance test tool for checking the conformance of your Kubernetes variants.
Yeah,
that
we've
is
got
owned by the community or something like that.
In our repo, in our README, right, we kind of have marketed it as a lightweight runner for Kubernetes tests.
Nice.
That doesn't tell end users much, I feel like.
No,
is it their tests or
I
our
have an idea.
tests or
yeah, like I'm a little
Fair.
confused by this, and yeah.
So
the
I have
second
an
sentence is
idea.
important. Go
Like
ahead.
as Ricky told, like before hydrophone, some VMware product is there, so we can write a blog or something comparing those two. How that sounds?
I'd rather not. Definitely don't want to get into the business of here's the open source thing, here's the product, you should use the open source thing or anything like that.
And to be fair, Sonaboy is still providing a great value, and we're not here to replace it by any means. And it is also open source. So yeah, I agree. I don't really want to get into a use this instead sort of deal. We just want to get the word out that this is also an offering.
Reasonable suggestion and important to consider though. So thank you.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
we can write a blog like SIG Spotlight, something focusing on hydrophone.
So I do have a blog ready that does kind of introduce hydrophone as a project and a product. I will try and find that link. I've got it somewhere nearby, and I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah, we can help review that blog if you'd like.
Yes, please. Here, I'll drop it in the chat here.
Rodrigo isn't here today. We should let him know.
Yeah.
But also with I don't know how to put a blog out, so
well,
we can help you with that.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
That is not an issue.
I knew I was in the right place.
That's right. Love to hear it. Like it when folks know in the community know that we exist.
Yes.
Cool.
Then additionally, if there's any kind of again, we can work on kind of the marketing and wording to clarify that it's a product that we can use to ensure that a cluster conforms to Kubernetes community standards.
Well, that is something we desperately need.
Always important. It's actually very relevant. I think in our last meeting, we were just talking about how this works with cloud providers and how they provide Kubernetes, but it's always a little bit different, but it's conformant. We had a whole conversation about that last time.
yeah, it's exactly that, right? It's a series of approximately 300 and some odd tests that say this is, boil it down, take away all the bells and whistles. This is what Kubernetes is. And then as long as you're conforming with that, your providers, your EKSs, your Googles, your Ranchers, etc., they can put on as many extra bells and whistles as they want, but the base, the
it is at least conformant.
is there. Exactly.
Excellent. I'm excited about the tool. We want to make sure to target this at end users. So blog is definitely an excellent way to go. And then we'll probably put a message out on all of our social media platforms. A couple of our channels, our traditional Twitter venue, and then our Mastodon are aimed at contributors. So we might want to adjust that message a little bit compared to the one that we put on LinkedIn, and then hopefully on the new Twitter account that we are getting a hold of.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and give that context now. We are working on getting access to the Kubernetes IO account on Twitter, which is the primary official Kubernetes account on Twitter that used to be run by the CNCF. There's been a whole thing going on there with not really ownership, but at least management of it transitioning to the community. So we have a request with CNCF right now out to get budget to add it to Buffer because it costs a little bit more money to add another channel to the way that we manage all of our social media instances. But that channel has over 300,000 followers on Twitter, so that will be an excellent venue for these kinds of end-user focused comms.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Our social media muscles are about to get really big, so yeah, it's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very specific too, though. I think the way that we're gonna set that up, which I wanted to mention today anyway, is we'll get that into Buffer, but very few people will have posting access, I think. I don't know if I guess we might set up the same as the others where anyone can write something, a draft, but very few people will have approval access on that one. And getting approval access for that will have to be a more concrete process than we've had to worry about in the past.
Yeah, I mean, as far as automation goes, I'm hesitant to throw the blogs and RSS feeds at it. I don't know. I don't know how
I think we'll want to automate some things, but we might want to be
very
cautious
specific.
about
Yeah.
and very specific about how we set that up. I think the blogs make sense, but we might want to add a bit more to the message that goes with them or something like that.
Bingo. Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that as we get it set up, hopefully in the next week.
So real quickly for kind of my
but
mental
yes,
model
back to
and
hydrophone.
understanding for next
Okay.
steps, how should I engage with you guys after this meeting to kind of figure out that wording and that kind of marketing piece?
We're very responsive in Slack, so you can always ping us there. If you want me or Chris directly, we're the leads of the group, so you could DM us, but we recommend, as long as it's not something particularly sensitive, just go into our ContribEx comms channel, SIG ContribEx comms, and just post things there. That'll get the whole group's eyes on it, and if somebody is around when we're not, they can go ahead and draft something up. As I mentioned, the social media stuff is a process where folks draft a message and then it has to be approved before it can go out. So folks can't mess anything up. There won't be a message that goes out that was not fully baked. So don't be afraid to involve the whole group.
Great.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I'm looking at your HackMD.
Thank you.
I'll go to review here.
Yeah, please. I've never written a blog. I
really?
took my best stab, so please feel free to tear it apart.
No,
congratulations.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Could you actually right now take that link and post it in the ContribEx comms channel and at Frederico?
Yes, I'll do it. I got it.
Okay, Chris will do it for you. And just also ping Ricky if you can. Want everybody tagged on that thread. So Frederico is our blogging lead for our group.
Okay.
So he manages a lot of the reviewing blog posts and helping them get through the process. So we want to involve him on this.
Great.
Sometimes he joins a little bit later. We'll see if he does today. He probably said in the channel if he isn't coming.
He said he's on an airplane.
Then yes, will not be here.
Updates.
He's very good about posting that though.
All right, thank you
An
all.
absolute boss.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. It makes my heart so happy that you knew that we existed and wanted to talk with us about it.
Right.
This is what we want.
Ricky,
We've
what's
had
your
some discussions. Go ahead.
Slack handle?
At Ricky Stowski.
Okay.
I think the spelling of that is in the attendance of our notes doc.
I just posted and
Oh, there you go. Thanks. I don't know why I didn't know that. Is what it is.
Haha.
Uh,
I finally
just
just got
wanted to
captions on.
know. Just wanted
Go
to
ahead.
know, do we have a tutorial on hydrophone on YouTube or something?
we've talked about it before, but we don't have any like videos or demos or.
We're gonna do a live stream, you and me. Hold on tight. Or anyone could do it technically, but yeah, I have capability to do that.
Okay.
Also, if someone has free hands, could you grab the blogging guidelines from our GitHub? There was a question in the chat about how we do that, so might as well share the process. We do have a doc, by the way, Ricky, which you might want to review that basically outlines the whole process that you're going to have to go through to get that blog published, which is right
Okay,
here.
great.
Yeah.
I will check that out.
Yes. Where to publish, submission and review process, editor instructions, expectations, how to write an effective blog, all that kind of stuff is in here because
Awesome.
Federico is a boss.
Right. It's one of the best guides in the project, I feel like.
It's very useful.
It's, yeah, clear and concise and nice.
Awesome. So we have about 20 minutes left. I do have one more thing in new items. I think we're good to move on to that. Any last questions about hydrophone for now? You can always pop in and ask more later.
Yeah, I tagged you in the message I just sent too, so feel free to just start a thread.
Perfect. So my one last thing in new items, and we already lost Sriram, sadly, but congratulations to the new CNCF ambassadors. So the Cloud Native Computing Foundation has a program called the Ambassadors Program, which is essentially a way for them to work closely with community leaders of varying types. I have a whole blog post about the program if you want to learn more about it. But a bunch of folks from our group this time actually went for ambassadorship. It's a process where you apply and are selected to be a part of this program where they help to support you in your community, and you get a direct line to the CNCF so that you can work with them more easily. Yeah, and I'm so excited that so many of our folks went for it this time. I know at least 5, which I have listed here in the doc. Nitish, Fika, Chris, you're doing the program again. Sriram, and I've been a part of the program since 2018, 2019, something like that.
Yeah, you've done it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a year off for being an ambassador, so it's kind of nice to jump back in. And like, I looked at the requirements and such, and I was like, oh, I'm already doing all this. Might as well just
Yep.
get the title back. But this is good news, Kazan, because I might have service desk access again.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So yay, it's not all on Caslin anymore, hopefully.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. So congratulations and amazing work, folks who went for that. Happy to talk about that anytime if folks want to talk about it more, but congratulations.
Yeah, it used to be, if you want some backstory on it, it used to be that like you were an ambassador forever. And it got to the point where we had like dozens of like inactive ambassadors. So they modified the program. So you self-nominate, and it's basically a 2-year run, and they pick. There's 2 classes of ambassadors that get picked every year. So there's like a nice rotation of folks. Initially, when they flipped over to the rule change, they did a very good job on diversity, and that was very, very, very warming to my heart. So yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah, big fan. And so the folks who got selected this time will be ambassadors for 2 years.
Yep.
And I don't know when the next
It's
cohort will be. I think they do them
fall.
more frequently than that,
Really?
but I think so.
It's in August.
August?
Okay.
They do it twice a year, right?
It's in
I think.
August. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So congratulations to those folks.
Mhm.
And I think we'll move on to updates, big wins. Hopefully our last item for notes. I guess there's 2 things in there. And then hopefully we'll get to the board today. I always push it to the last minute. But first updates, big wins. The request for budget to be able to add Kubernetes IO to our buffer, not zitter, to buffer, is underway. I submitted that request a couple days ago. I preemptively sent a message to the person from the CNCF who usually does it for me so that they have access to do it and everything. We'll see how that works out. I haven't
You
seen
want
a
me to-
response from them yet.
Well, I'll post Federico's update in here.
Oh,
Just
yes,
so
that'd be
we
good.
have a good record.
So I think Bob probably has the credentials for the Zitter account. I don't actually have them.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yeah, I might have. I assume he hasn't put them in 1Password yet, but I'm just gonna have to ask Bob about it once we actually get access. If we really wanted to, if we had something really time sensitive that we needed to try to push to it, I could probably get them, but I'm letting myself be free of that responsibility as long as possible.
Good call.
Then the other one I put in here is, we talked about it earlier, the contributor summit for KubeCon North America planning will start on Monday. Mario, who is also a regular member of our group, is going to be the lead for that event. He had drafted a social media post about asking for leads and shadows for the contributor summit. I advised against sharing that post because we don't want a huge influx of people who are unfamiliar with the project trying to use it as a way to become a contributor. It's not really set up for that.
No, definitely not.
It's yeah, the roles that we're asking for help with there are folks who need to be folks who are familiar with the project and who are going to KubeCon in pretty much all cases. So especially since the release 1.30, by the way, the 1.30 release shadow application is open now, and we should probably post something about that if we haven't yet. I saw something and I was like, I should go retweet that from the account, and then I didn't. 1.31,
Nice.
sorry.
Yes, I
Release.
made the mistake once of tweeting out that, yeah, hey, we're looking for people to do the contributor summit, and then we just got absolutely bombarded by requests from people that we've never heard of or seen before.
And that's another reason why our group exists.
Yep.
To prevent things from like that from happening. At least try to control them. And that is a process that's set up to be able to handle at least the huge influx of applications that it gets. But the contributor summit one is just an issue on GitHub, and if it gets a mile long, then we don't have enough eyeballs to review it. Yeah. So any questions about Release Shadow or Contributor Summit? We should probably get something drafted for Release Shadow.
Yeah.
All right. Should we go over the Federico updates and then pop into the board?
Yes.
Which is mostly Federico anyway.
Right. So the SIG PR has been opened. Shadowing guidelines have been updated, and confirmation of interest asked. So basically, yes, anybody wanted to be a shadow. SIG etcd questions created to be reviewed with the shadow. SIG API machinery is missing just one answer, trying to close it. SIG Arch, no updates. And he's opened some additional issues from some of the stuff that was in drafts.
Wonderful.
Always busy.
He's so busy. So he's either leading or doing himself several blog posts. We have I haven't actually explained this yet today. I think that might be a record. It's probably not. We have a SIG Spotlights blog series where we encourage members of our community, our group here in the comms team, to interview the leads of a special interest group within Kubernetes and then write up what they learned about it in a blog post. It's a great way for members of our community to get involved with the larger community and benefits them at the same time. So Federico is in charge of making sure a lot of that happens. So he gives updates on lots of those, but he's also running, I think, 3 of these etcd, API machinery, and architecture are all also he's the author of them. And then he also, as he said, just updated the shadowing guidelines and is trying to train new folks to take over his role.
Yes, that's what we need.
Always important. Always.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then that's an evergreen project.
Oh yeah.
To
Very
speak to the last update there. There are always SIGs to have spotlights done of. If it hasn't been done in the last 2 years, it's fair game. So if anyone ever wants to pick up a spotlight, just let us know in the comms Slack channel. Specifically let Federico know, since it says here that he opened issues for some of the stuff. I guess this is some of the stuff that was in draft. So this is stuff that's already underway. But sometimes he also opens issues for like, it would be good if we had someone do this one.
Right.
But most of the time it's self-driven. If you want to take on a SIG spotlight, look at the SIG list, tell us which one you might be interested in doing, or we can recommend some, and then we'll go from there. Cool. Any blog or content on the shadow program? In the chat, it looks like Arpit, did you grab the... Oh, that's the SIG release. Somebody asked about that? Anyway. Could somebody grab a link to the blogging shadow guide from our GitHub? Do you still have that open? Or the chat?
Is it just in the blog guidelines?
Oh, Arujval wants the release shadow information, actually.
Oh shit, sorry.
We could share both.
True.
That is, yeah, that is our blog shadow for our group that Arvin shared. Thank you, Arvin, for sharing that one.
There's the one for the release team.
Yeah, and that's the release. So 2 different shadow things going on there. There's 3, actually. There's the contributor summit. There's our specific blogging lead is open for shadows, and also release team.
So many.
Yes, I think I said that right. All right. And with that, we have only 11 minutes left. Let's dive into the board. It should be quick today since a lot of it, honestly, is Federico's work. So maybe we'll talk about some of the other things. Ooh, I just remembered one that we're about to talk about. We haven't made any progress on. It's once again a problem. We'll get there in a second.
Fun.
So I know the SIG node spotlight is one that Federico had updated it on, but it is being written by Arpit. So Arpit, would you like to share any notes about how that's going?
Yeah, I guess Federico had pulled out the PR, so like it will be published at just waiting for the PR to get approved.
Wonderful. Love it. I always say I'm going to review these and then I don't, and I feel really bad about it, but I'm so glad that we have Federico to make sure those do get reviewed. Thank you very much, Arpit, for taking that on and pushing it through to the point where we have a PR. That is worth celebrating. Awesome. Oh,
Well,
let me grab
it's
the...
a year since we actually take Signode block.
Yeah. Sometimes these take a very long time and sometimes they take a very short time because it's all about people interacting with one another because you have to conduct the interview. So that can take a long time. So it's always worth celebrating when someone manages to push through to the end.
Yep. Definitely.
So thank you, Arpit. Any other notes about that? All right. So that is the only thing that we have in review is the SIG node. We have an item in our board for that, and then we have an actual PR linked there. I think this is PR. Yeah. So if anyone would like to review it, that is available for review. And then in the in progress column, we have the SIG Architecture Spotlight article, which is being written by Federico. Well, it's several blogs actually that are being written by Federico, and he gave us his update on that already, as well as SIG API Machinery and SIG etcd. So these are all being written by Federico, and he gave us those updates already. Next one is the spotlight on SIG security, and that is owned by Sriram, who already left for today.
Fine, it's late.
In March, we said that we were going to reach out to Sriram about it because there hadn't been any progress. I think we did have it. I thought we had an update on this before. Maybe it's in the notes, but not here.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
entirely possible.
I think that has kind of continued. It hasn't made much progress, but he's still excited to do it, I think. So
Right. Absolutely.
we can check back in with him later.
Wasn't he going through exams and stuff, I thought?
He
Something like that.
was, yeah. I think he's done with that now, though.
Okay, cool.
The next item on in progress is the one that I was like, dang it, we forgot about this again. Help wanted posts. Sundapan has been doing such a wonderful job of trying to get us to actually do this, and we keep letting you down, Sundapan. I'm so sorry about that. I keep saying that I'm gonna go find the sheet. Chris.
Which sheet? Sorry.
Could you pop into the Summit staff channel and ask for the sheet of help wanteds?
Yes, I will. Right
That's
now.
how this is going to get done. And Sundapan just posted the link to the YouTube. Is this from EU? It started playing and it just started with, I didn't have enough coffee for this. And I find that very amusing. This was posted 1 month ago. This is from, wait, which one is this from? This is from March 28th. So I assume this is from EU. This has got to be from EU. So yes, as Sundapan posted, we could use this YouTube link to do it, but there is a sheet. They tried to make sure that everyone who did a call out this time gave us a text version of their call out so that we could easily turn it into social media posts. And I keep forgetting to find the link to that document.
Nice.
Because they like took it in as a form, and so I've got to figure out where that form's info landed. So we just got to ask about it.
Yeah.
So Sundapan, especially since you have been doing such a wonderful job of trying to push this, if you want to go ahead and like use the transcript or just watch this and create some posts from it, please do. You had that spreadsheet going before. You could do a spreadsheet, or you could put them directly in Buffer, and we'll edit and approve them through Buffer's process, whatever works for you. But we will also work on getting that spreadsheet so that it'll be a little bit easier. And let's make sure that we post in Slack once we get that answer.
No need,
Yeah,
here
sure.
you go. Yes, spreadsheet link.
The old spreadsheet.
Yeah, the
Yeah, we had
contributor
some-
call out one, right?
Yeah. Well, this is not that one. So I think,
Okay, I
yeah,
found it.
this is not the one that was created for the callouts that were done in EU. This is one that was created by us for the callouts that were done in Chicago.
Okay.
So this is not the most recent call for help. Yeah, this is from NA 2023. I'm going to put that actually. Can I? Weird. I'm going to put that in the title of this one. Oh.
Well.
Yes. All right. So there's a couple of old iterations of it. It's also listed on the board. There's a couple of links there, but neither of them are the right link for the most recent call outs for help that SIGs have done. So the purpose of this project is we want to create social media posts and help to spread the word about the help that SIGs need. We used to do this as part of the annual report process. Once everyone had their annual reports in, they created that like all up annual report they used to. And we would just go in there and create posts from the annual report. But the last couple of years, they haven't had someone to create the all up report. So it's just like SIGs doing the annual report in their own repo. So you have to go to every repo and grab the information and write something, which Sundapan did. And I am so amazed and appreciative that he did that. And then we were all like, wait, this information is all like a year old. We should probably get more up-to-date information because it was right before KubeCon NA. And we were like, okay, we'll do it after that. And then we started doing it after that. And then it didn't get done because it was the end of the year. And that's how that works. And now here we are, post KubeCon EU, trying to do it again.
All right, added
That's the story.
I dropped the link to the help wanted directory in chat and in the notes. Please bookmark that somehow.
Somebody from Summit staff respond to you that fast?
Yes,
Or
Nigel.
did you just find it?
No, Nigel did it. He's like, it's in the drive.
Nigel.
Look up in the bookmarks and there's a link to the drive, and I feel like an idiot. So yeah.
On the ball. All right.
For someone that's been on
going to-
vacation, he's surprisingly responsive.
You make a fair point on that. I should probably yell at him. Not actually, but
I mean, I would be happy to award him so he could take vacation.
fair point. Maybe that's the correct approach here.
And if he hasn't gotten any kind of contributor award lately, I'm nominating him. I could do that, right? Yeah.
Fair point. We have we have considered awarding him with the wonderful award of more responsibility.
Oh God. Yes.
We've discussed possibly making him like a co-chair of SIG ContribEx or something, but
I mean, at this point, why not?
exactly. We'll see if he actually wants that when he gets back from vacation, which he's totally on.
Yeah.
So there's a callouts sheet in here, but it is empty. So I guess
Yeah, so like it's there, but it's just not populated.
But it should be it's in the responses. It's in the responses from
okay.
the form. I don't know if everybody can see those. I'm going to create a spreadsheet for it.
Oh, it's in form responses? And they didn't have it going to a spreadsheet? That sucks.
Doesn't look like it.
Link to
Maybe?
sheets.
I just created the sheet. It is now
Okay.
in that folder that you shared.
Thank you so much.
All right. So
Yay.
this is the callouts that we need to convert into social media posts, which could be challenging because there was no like length requirement or anything like that.
Oh shit.
Format. Let me wrap this text. I know mine was really long. Oh, it's not so bad actually, maybe.
No, it's not bad. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something else.
I don't know. I feel like this wrapping is not working. Oh, okay. It's because it's here, not there.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
There we go. Now you can actually see the length of them. Yeah, mine is too long for a single tweet at least. So we'll need to work on that. And we are at time.
Thread. There is threading in buffer now, by the way, for Twitter.
Oh, that's good to know. That we should add that to the. Could you add that in the notes?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to. Not there. You find help wanted posts. I'm going to add that note in. Oop.
Let me make sure I'm not speaking out my butt real quick.
But we are at time, so folks need to drop. Do go ahead. I will do a little closer here in a moment once I get this link added into the board. KubeCon. Yeah.
I wanted to mention one thing real quick.
Please do go ahead.
Right before my one-on-one this week, with my boss, I basically went and looked at the YouTube guidelines, and between Nigel and I and Pratish, like those are the only people that are YouTube admins, and it would be great to have more than just the three of us, especially in different time zones. So if you know somebody that's good at YouTube and happens to be in Europe, Asia, wherever, please let them know that we might have a job for them if they so choose.
Does need to be someone who is very familiar with the project and who is interested in working with YouTube. So we should add that probably to the help wanted.
Well, and that's the problem with that, right? Like we need trusted people to do that.
Yeah, we could post it.
We can put it in the like various Slack channels, but not publicly, please, dear God.
I mean, we could put it on the Kate's contributors Twitter account and just be specific that like this is something that needs familiarity with the community. So if you are a contributor who follows this account, let us know.
You need to be
in
an
Slack.
org member. You need to be a YouTube expert. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do something like that. It might be worth it to try to get the message out, but we can discuss that more later.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. We are 3 minutes over. Any last items before we say goodbye to our friends on YouTube? All right. With that, I'm going to close out this meeting. I do have some time to hang around after. So I'll do that, but we'll say goodbye to our friends on YouTube now. Bye, YouTube.
Hasta luego.